Hello everyone, my name is Nujum and welcome to Callie Caves Trials, or rather Callie's Trials, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. This is a game that I have been loving, and so I thought it would only be appropriate, especially because the developers seem really nice, they seem really into the community, and that's something I respect in an indie dev, so yeah. Shout out to @CallieCaves on Twitter, I believe is the Twitter handle. I'll link it down below, as well as a download for this game, or like the Steam thing. It's not too expensive, I believe it's under $10. I want to say like it's $8, but it should be 10% off as of putting this video up, I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, yeah, so this is Callie Trials. If you're not sure what's going on, why there's a little girl with the gun, that gun shoots really cool bullets, and there's also lots of guns, which you're not probably going to play with when you start out. When you start out, you'll get this sort of basic pistol. The story is, this is a video game, play the video game. The story is your parents were kidnapped by a mad scientist, I think. I forget. That might be the story of the previous game, Callie Caves 3, which I did do a video on. But I feel kind of bad because I spent that entire video basically complaining about the game, which is not representative of my view at all. This game is a lot of fun, and if you remember those old Megaman games, right? Where you were just jump and shoot, man, and you would like jump and shoot, and that was really all there was to it, but it was still really intense. I would recommend picking Callie Caves up. I don't think the level design is quite as good, but there's a lot of fun to be had. So, yeah. I mean, there's also a little bit of weirdness in the design decisions. For example, I hit escape. There's no main menu or, like, save option. The only thing I can do in terms of, like, how I can save is erase data, which is just start over, obviously, and quit the game. Which I was kind of like, I want to make 2 files so I can make a file to, like, a new file to play the game, and I want to make a file that I play it on, but whatever. Okay. So, Callie Caves, this is sort of the hub world, and as you can see, there's a pretty decent amount of content in here. Each of these worlds has, like, I think it's 10 levels, I'm not entirely sure. And throughout those 10 levels, you get new weapons and new armor, not armor, but new enemies. And you fight a boss at the end of each level, and at the end of each level, it sends you to a new level, and it's all very cool. So we may as well start with one of the later levels, just to show you how the game progresses later on. This is the first level. By the way, how are you guys enjoying the music? Something I noticed, Callie Caves 3 seemed to have the same music loop around over and over and over. This game is a little bit more in-depth with its music. It switches around a lot, which I really like. So, this is a zombie. Oh no, what'll I ever do? It's a video game zombie. Oh wait, I can just shoot it. So, this is the basic gameplay. It's going to be a lot of running away from enemies and shooting them. Some of the enemies fly, some of the enemies, well, they have different patterns, and the placement of them is usually pretty good, so that you really have to figure out how you're going to maneuver around the enemies. Note that a lot of your weapons are going to be shooting straight forward, but some of them, like this shotgun for example, is going to have a little bit of an angle on it, so you can cheese some of the enemies, but definitely not all of them. You can get away with a couple things. Not everything in the world is going to be cheesable, basically. This one cheats a little bit. This is the assault rifle, I believe? Yeah. So the assault rifle is probably so far the best weapon in the game that I've been playing around with. It's just really good in pretty much every single situation, and it does a ton of damage. It just shoots really fast. So this is something I'm going to start off right away. Callie Caves, or Callie's Trials at the very least, has a really good way of providing variety of weapons. Each of the weapons feels pretty unique. Rocket launcher is pretty short range, you have a bow and that has a little bit of a curve to it. The blade gun bounces around, and by the way, this thing, like, it leveled up so fast for me. I don't know what the experience is on these guns. But yeah, these weapons level up. Should have mentioned that earlier. And what's also really cool, and this is also a big feature in the game, is that some of the weapons will break apart obstacles in the level. So it tries to emphasize that Metroidvania sense of adventure, right? I need to get my shotgun out. Now, you see in the top right there, my shotgun, right? I can hit C to swap weapons. That's the only button. I can't swap backwards. I can only swap one direction, which can be a little bit awkward, because I would much rather prefer like the GTA 5 mouse wheel thing, where you press the switch weapon button and provides a variety of weapons, but okay. On the top right, you can see this weapon is almost level 10. Level 10 is the max level, at least so far that I've found, that you can level up these guns. When you shoot enemies, you can see slowly but surely, my gun level should increase. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but once I've shot all of these zombies, it'll definitely have gone up. Once it reaches a certain breakpoint, which I think it's level 4, level 7, and level 10, the gun upgrades and they get this really cool animation. Usually what'll happen is, like, if I go from level 1 to 2, it'll just get an increase in damage. When you get upgrade from 3 to 4, there can be special changes, like maybe for the blade weapon, it bounces more often. You can get an extra bullet. For the boomerang, I got an extra, like, boomerang that I can throw around. It's really cool, and I like this, because it gives you, like, some incentive to just keep playing the game, and, like, it gives you an incentive to play with the different guns. I can, like, if it weren't for this upgrade system, I probably would have just stuck with the assault rifle the entire game, because this thing just feels way better than, in my opinion, most of the other weapons. Anyways, let's get some points in our shotgun. The entire game, you don't have to do this. Obviously, you don't have to sit here and grind them out and level them up. You can actually just, a la Dark Souls, just run past all the enemies. Oh boy, look at all this gold and treasure, and then you just jump over them. And it's totally fine. There are enemies like turrets that, like, have sort of homing missiles, not homing missiles, but homing shots on you, and these slimes will jump up on you. By the way, I love the sprites on the slimes, they're adorable. But yeah, you can't, like, really jump over everything. You'll have a little bit of a hard time. But for the most part, you can just totally blitz your way through these levels. I wouldn't recommend it, though, because obviously you need the points in your gun to deal damage, and the more damage you're dealing, generally, the better off you are. And as we're about to level up our first gun, or rather, we're going to get, like, one of those breakpoints. So, level 4, level 7, and level 10, you get these breakpoints where your gun gets an upgrade. And I actually really like this. They emphasize the upgrade with this cool little animation. In Cali Caves 3, they actually gave, like, this really cool explosion cloud thing. Okay, here it is. Boom. Now, for one thing, so you notice the gun looks a little bit fractured, right? It almost looks like it's broken because there's floaty bits all over. That's just because the gun has black particles on it. So I have more bullets and spread is increased. Okay. It's noticeably different. I can appreciate that. But you see how on the gun, right? There's, like, a black outline to, like, the barrel, and, like, there's a black outline to parts of the gun. That's what was causing it to look really weird during that level up thing. It's something small for the developers to fix, I guess. But I like the what was that? Did I just go infinite jump? Okay, whatever. It's something for the developers to fix, but for the most part, like, the animation itself is really cool, and it gives you this really good sense of, like, oh, I did something. And again, I really like the actual gunplay in the game. I don't think it's as good as those really old retro Megamans, if that's what you're looking for, but it can definitely fill that itch of, like, platforming mixed with almost roguelite elements. Not roguelite, what am I talking about? The action platformer mix thing. It's really good. Have I mentioned that I like this game yet? Because I like this game, and I'm trying to think, like, okay, what should I really talk about? So if you're trying to get into Cali Caves, one thing that's really important to mention is the sword. So when you get into game, Z is to fire, X is to swing your sword, and then C switches your weapon. And what this means is that you're constantly able to use your sword and your weapon at the same time. So I have the rocket launcher here, and I have my sword. What the sword generally does is that it stops an enemy from moving, right? So if I go up to this bear here, spam, I can shoot him a bunch, and you can actually just spam like this, and if you keep it perfectly, you can stun lock enemies. Now, most enemies will just get completely destroyed by this combo, but if you're not careful and if you mistime it, you can take damage, and you see how much health I have, right? There are times you will die in this game. It is actually super challenging, and if I'm honest, I'm not sure why. Ooh, we got another level up. Still floaty bits everywhere, but hey, longer range, that's actually very appreciable because the thing had such a short range. Oh my god, that's so much longer. What is this? It's so much longer. Don't take that out of context. But yeah. Oh god, what was I talking about? I was talking about the sword. You can stun lock enemies, but if you mess it up, you take damage. And I like that. I like that because it means when I fuck up, it's my fault, you know? When I take damage, it's sort of my fault. It's because I didn't execute the combo correctly, right? Like there, I took damage because the guy shot and I wasn't prepared for it. Also noticeable that some of the guns will, like, stagger the enemies. So if I use this bow here, right? Boom. You see how he staggers? If you get them in a chain like this, they can stagger a bit. I don't know if I like that. I feel like it kind of removes a lot of the challenge. But you still take enough damage that I don't think it's a big factor in the gameplay. So, I'll take it. It's kind of cool being able to abuse enemies. I mean, it's a single-player game, right? It's not like you're in multiplayer and it's like, oh, this is a completely broken combo. Like, no, you are kind of fighting the game, and the game's pretty dang tough. That's actually what I was talking about earlier. You can see all of these lives. It's not at all hard to lose all of these lives. The levels are fairly long, and I think they're designed to be somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes. So yeah, let's just try blitzing past and see how many rooms there are. I think we've gotten like 3 or 4 down. This is like another room with money. The game shoves money like all over you. Like, yo, I'm not into that, you know? I mean, I like money just like any other person, but I'm not into having it shoved in my face all the time. But yeah, there's money literally everywhere, and it can get to the point where it's like, well, I don't really have a use for this money. We have to talk about the shop again, unfortunately. I had issues with the last shop this game had, well, in Cali Caves 3, and I have my issues with this shop as well, so that's something definitely to bring up. Ultimately, yeah. What you see here is what you get. If you want to fight these enemies, if you want to go through these sort of jumpy shoot exploration levels, but go ahead and I would recommend Cali's Trials. It's pretty good. Let me see if I can get to the boss. I think I can just do sort of a time lapse or just fast forward. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the boss. The Queen! So the Queen is a bumblebee that produces bees. That's great, thematically. She shoots these really annoying projectiles, and it's actually pretty hard to, like, close in on her. So a lot of times, what the best strategy I found for beating her is just sort of staying to the right here and trying to spray and pray on the side here. You can also actually get a lot of effectiveness out of the blade gun. Because she spawns a bunch of little bees, this blade gun will go through, like, both the little bees and the big bee, and it just, like, it means you don't really have to deal with the little bees. It seems like killed some little bees by accident, like all the way over here, so that's the thing. The only annoying part is that you have to, like, sort of jump over to see her health. You can parry these, like, projectiles with your sword, so you're really not in danger unless you're, like, playing badly, which, I mean, hey, again, it does kind of require a little bit of precision and timing. I am a little bit low on health, so I really shouldn't talk as if, like, oh yeah, this boss is so easy. You know, you just gotta get in the zone. I'm taking a ton of damage, actually. Let's just chill back here. The shotgun might actually be better, because I kind of have guaranteed damage with the shotgun. The thing is, the assault rifle just does so much more damage. I do have regeneration from the store. I did buy, there's like a regeneration perk that you can buy. It seems like the only really useful thing from the store. Okay, hold on. I think she's down. Yeah, I got him. Okay. Now, as a note, this cave, after you've beaten the boss, doesn't send you back to the world. But yeah, that's a boss. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like I feel like they tried to differentiate the bosses a little bit more than last time. Last time it felt like the bosses were just bigger versions of the enemies. This time they've done some noticeable work to make the bosses feel a little bit different. So, you notice I intentionally took a bunch of damage there. I'm trying to die to send myself back to the hub world so we can talk about the shop. You can't actually go back to the hub world in the shop until you get a game over, which I feel like is a serious design flaw. If your player is ever having to exploit your mechanics, like death mechanics, I feel like that's a design flaw. I feel like there should just be like an option in the menu, go back to hub world or something. Which, by the way, in the previous Cali Caves 3 game, there was an option here that said teleport. I completely agree with removing that. That was really awkward mechanically. Although it did make for better checkpoints, I guess. If you play Cali Caves 3, you know what I'm talking about. That's also a great game too. So go ahead and pick that up if that's what you're into. Anyways, let's talk some last things before I send off this game, right? Actually, really quickly, what is going on with her eyes? This has been bothering me so much as I play this game. It's like, why is she constantly blinking? Yo, is there like water in those eyes? Water those? Okay, I'm just yelling at myself now. Anyways, yeah. I think the sprite overall is fine. It's just like her eyes are a little bit weird. The guns in general are like pretty cool looking, I have to admit. Like, hold on, where's the... Yeah, the blade gun looks super cool. I don't know what it is. I just like the look of it. I guess the rest of the guns are alright. This one's obviously best gun. In case anyone is wondering, assault rifle is best gun, and if you say otherwise, you are wrong. Anyways, so... Oh, I didn't think this through. I did not think this through. Okay, well, you know what? Let's test this erase data mechanic. Hey, we're at level 3. Oh, look, it's a cutscene. By the way, I really like these cutscenes. Just because... Usually when you see cutscenes in indie games, it's like vocal cutscenes. And I like to play with the audio off, right? Because I like to listen to podcasts. When I'm playing a video game, I like to listen and like fill my mind with stuff, so they say. So having it all basically be through text, I appreciate that. I really do. It just makes it easier for read. It's probably better if you're disabled and you can't hear. It's a minor point. I don't know how minor, but it is a point. So when you start the game, you get all of these upgrades and you're like, oh, there's so much to buy. Let me tell you right now, obviously you buy the coin multiplier 2 first, right? But after you buy that, the game highly incentivizes you to buy triple jump, which I did do, and it kind of worked out. Here's the thing, save up for coin multiplier 5. Save up for this, because here's the thing, when you get coin multiplier 5, I ended up getting the rest of these so quickly. Like, I didn't even realize that I had like such a ridiculous amount of gold. There was a specific level here where you can kind of abuse the game mechanics again to get like a ton of gold. I'll go ahead and show this off. I don't know if this is like something the developer should watch out for. It feels like it was designed intentionally, but okay, so blah 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 blah. Oh my god, this game is so hard, I'm gonna lose a life. Oh wait, just kidding. Yeah, normally the game is pretty tough. But I think I've played 16 hours combined of the Cali Caves 3 and the Cali's Trials games, so I think I can at least get through the level without freaking out too much. Anyways, yeah. So here's the shotgun. Oh man, you got your first gun. Oh my god, I need to skip this. Okay, so here it is. So, I don't know what part of World 1 it is, but on this door in World 1, you see that door over there, right? So, if you have triple jump, you can get up here, and there are 5 gems, and each of these gems are worth 100 gold each. When you get 5 of them, and then you get the double coin upgrade, they're worth 200 gold, so this is 1,000 gold right here, right? Here's the thing. Let me get this chest, and then let me run back. Ooh, dodge. That's always lucky. It respawns all the objects in the room. The objects are not permanent, which I don't know if that's intentional or not. It feels very intentional. Like, this is way too close to the door to not be intentional, in my opinion. it's greatly incentivizing you to buy the triple jump. So yeah, do yourself a favor, buy triple jump, just run back and forth between this and that door a bunch of times, and suddenly you have all the upgrades in the shop, which is quite convenient. What is going on? Did I bug the game out? Hold on, let me see if I can kill myself. Hey, got it. Okay. So, yeah, I was talking about the shop earlier. Because I got all of that money, you saw before I had all of these bought. Like, these 2 pages completely bought, except for the equip energy wave, right? And that's because once you figure out that you can farm it, it gets so ridiculously easy to get money, and there's no longevity, which is super different from what the last Cali Caves game was. My complaint with the last Cali Caves store was that there was too much stuff to buy later on in the game, and you couldn't buy enough early on. Now they've gone the opposite direction, I still don't feel like it's very good. I do think this is more interesting as a player than the other system, being able to say, do I want dodge chance, do I want to upgrade my sword, or health, do I want to save up for health regeneration, and being able to actually buy it is it's an upgrade from the previous Cali Caves 3 game, but I don't know if I like this system because it's so easy to buy all the items and stuff. Anyways, that's it for Cali Caves 3. If you're into a Megaman style, shooty, jumpy, platformy thing, it's not so much platforming as much as exploration. It doesn't put a lot of emphasis on platforming, but there are platforming elements to it. Then pick up Cali's Trials, link in the description below. Also, follow the developers on Twitter. They're fairly active at tweeting out like fan art and stuff. They're really cool guys. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. My name's Nujum. Like and subscribe to my stuff if that's what you're into, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!